So hello and good morning everybody. Second day here today at Drupa in Düsseldorf. And welcome at Bonjour here at the Inkish booth. And I'm joined here, I have the great pleasure to be joined with my sidekick Pat McGrew. And we have the honor of receiving today our guests, Barbara and Daniel. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning,
everyone.
How are you?
We're wonderful. How are you?
Yeah, bonjour, bonjour. Exactly.
Bonjour.
Doing great. I mean, come on, second day at Drupa. I mean, we were looking forward to that, very much so.
Exactly. So, Pat, and let's straight away dive into it. Barbara, you with HP PageWide. Let's say you've been in the company for quite some time, but give us a little bit the inside. What are you doing now right at this moment?
Right. Yes, I've been with HP for 27 years, but as of now, I'm the global head of PageWide Industrial. So managing the business, working for Heim Levy under industrial print.
Right. Well, everybody in the industry recognizes the faces, but Daniel, maybe you're still CEO, I guess, with Hunkeler?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I don't give away such a great position. And just to be quickly into it, exactly 8 years ago at Drupa, I joined Hunkeler back then. It was my very first day with Hunkeler.
Nice.
So being here back in Düsseldorf at Drupa after 8 years, it's just wonderful in that position.
Well, last time that we met was in Switzerland, of course, at the then Hunkeler Innovation Days. You came on board not too long then when you were made CEO. Now we're about kind of more than a years later. So a lot has changed. Give us a little bit what for you changed and what did you bring to Drupa here on the show floor?
You know, I mean, yes, there were a lot of changes. Obviously, we as Hunkeler got acquired by Müller-Martini, which is now a big portion of our business. We can develop quite a bit forward, specifically technology-wise, which is a great thing. But Drupa is also about showing technology. I mean, if you're walking around the different booths here, it's really technology, integration, automation. And I mean, I definitely ask you, come also over to our booth. We can show you that there right away as well.
Yeah, perfect. Well, as you say, you joined as CEO like a year ago. You're not new, but you're new in your role as general manager as well. So let's say, how did that marriage and that cooperation between Hunkeler and HP came about for Drupa, especially then here?
I think our relationship started probably before
long time ago.
Near the very beginning. So our first press was installed in 2009. And at the very beginning, we knew that HP was the experts in printing, but we weren't going to be the experts on finishing. And it wasn't ever a goal of ours. And so from the very beginning, we had a solutions team. From the very beginning, we had a partnership program, and Hunkeler was one of our first partners. And so I assume we started working together in 2010, would be my guess.
That's probably about right. And you know, just adding on Barb, we knew exactly we are not going to be in printing. We are the specialists in doing finishing.
Right.
So perfect partnership.
And over here in the booth in Hall 17, you can see one of our Advantage 2200s that's paired with the Hunkeler cut sheet line. And it's making some beautiful posters right now.
Wow. Well, diving in a little bit into the details. What is to be seen at Drupa? So the technology and the software, what have you seen?
So one of the things that I love about Drupa is that it's one-stop shopping. So this is a place where the crossroads of print come together. And certainly in walking the halls, and there are a lot of halls, I'm seeing a lot of first-time exhibitors, people who've never been here before, with some technologies I haven't seen before, which are brilliant. And I'm seeing people come back sometimes for their many-th Drupa, right? I mean, some people don't want to admit how many Drupas they've done. And so I look at Hall 17, and I look in the hall where Hunkeler is, and I see these established companies with these amazing new technologies. So nothing is old, everything is new, and it's brilliant. What I wanted to ask, Barbara, I would like to start with you. PageWide Industrial, we think of it as the home of inkjet, and inkjet is one of these technologies that we've just seen get better and better and better. And I know that for anyone who's selling inkjet hardware, there's always this goal to make it richer and more amenable to the needs of graphic arts people.
Right.
The A2200 seems to be hitting all the buttons and levers on that. So how do you see that growing in the future? What kinds of new customers might you bring in?
Right, absolutely. So we launched the Advantage 2200 last year, and since then, we just keep coming out with new capabilities for it. And so one of the things we're announcing here at Drupa is thicker stock. So now we can print up to 320 GSM stock, 18 point, and that was a total customer-driven ask and customer-driven innovation. And so we're out there working with our customers, hearing what their needs are, and then we're testing for those needs or innovating for those needs.
So Daniel, for Hunkeler, I guess it's a constant challenge for you as well, because the thicker the stock Barbara wants to print on, you have to find some way to finish it.
Absolutely. And I think you had a point there. I mean, over the past couple of years, we tried to adapt to the conventional stuff. Now we are going to the edges. On one hand, we are going way up, thicker, heavier stock, which gives some challenges on the weight. Just think about on the weight of a paper roll, as example. But on the other hand, we are also going on the opposite direction, going down to thinner pages or thinner paper, which is a challenge in itself. And obviously, we still have to make sure that our customer can use the same piece of equipment for both ranges. Then, based upon our business model, we can't afford to have two different models or two different pieces of equipment. Our customers need to adapt to the request of the customer, and that goes more and more towards the upper end as well as the lower end.
Daniel, if I can pick in on the subject, so the quality, everybody's talking about quality, also this Drupa, ecology, quality as well, but you in former years coming a lot from transactional as well, black and white and other stuff. How have you seen that quality in color print inkjet go up in those last few years? Because that's what we're seeing here, and that's where you're connecting to those, let's say, performance color systems. How have you seen that evolve and connecting your equipment to that?
You know, Barb and I am going to be sure we have a little bit of a different answer here attached to each other. Then if you are talking to us about quality, it's about how well you are cutting the piece, how well you are stacking the piece, how well you are bringing the piece onto the pallet or onto a robot to bring them somewhere else. So we have to make sure that the great quality which we receive from the printer stays integral, stays the same, and gets transported in the process exactly the same way and with the same care. And I'm pretty sure you are adding on the quality itself of the product.
All of that is very important to us and to our customers, but we also keep innovating on print quality as well, trying to target greater general commercial print markets, be able to hit more pages. And so our goal is to be taking over as many analog offset pages as we can. With the release of the HP Brilliant Inks in 2020, we're able to print directly onto offset coated papers. We're able to have expanded gamut with high efficiency inks. And we've been able to see an acceptance with first the T250 and now with the Advantage 2200 into these bigger markets. As well as last year we announced the T485 HD. And with the T485 HD, it's a 1 meter wide press, up to 244 meters per minute, and it flies, and it's a workhorse, and it's absolutely taking over some of those analog offset pages that we wanted to take with that high gamut, that high quality. But again, that interaction of how we're able to work together means a total good use experience for our end customers.
Well, into the inkjet space, let's say, how do you see, or have you seen, let's say, the interest of the PSPs going towards, let's say, the inkjet solutions rather than toner, because obviously you have both, but where do you see basically the interest of the industry going? More to inkjet or sticking with toner?
What's great about HP is we're the world's biggest printing company. And what's great about industrial print is our portfolio. And so we have our sales team that are working with our customers and trying to find the right solution for the right customer. And If they have the volumes, our sales team points us to the page wide, to the roll-fed presses. But there's such a variety of application and a variety of needs, and that's what's really fun about working with HP. I love the partnerships we do when we're making books, where my Indigo partners are printing the covers, and I'm able to print the contents of the book or the book blocks. We have a magazine application where I'm printing the contents of the magazine, and Indigo is printing the covers of that. So when we can work together, it's fantastic. But we also have a right product for the right market.
Well, talking about books, Pat, have you seen that monster that Hunkeler brought with
The
them?
Star book. Yeah.
I mean, come on, don't call them monster.
No, I mean, in a good way.
That's true industrial equipment. That's what our industry
Beautifully
needs.
elegant.
We need to develop, we need to get to the next level. And exactly for that reason, we do need industrial size of equipment.
And it's easy to use. So one of the things I wanted to ask both of you about was the technology that makes it possible to keep the equipment going and make it usable by people who don't need a master's degree in engineering. Because in our early days in our industry, you needed a lot of time to learn the equipment. But today, the user interfaces seem to be getting smarter and smarter. So could you just talk to that a little bit?
One of our new announcements for Drupa is the release of the Smart Work Cell Controller. And so this is some of our new workflow software that's actually going to be kind of a platform for us and become more and more functional over time. But what we're able to do is we're able to batch jobs for our customers in a way that can totally increase their efficiency of their production flow. And it works well with the Hunkeler equipment. And so to combine with our partners' equipment and our press, we're able to batch work together, and you don't need an extensive pre-press team. You don't need an extensive degree in order to make this work and work efficiently. And so it's for all of our customers are looking at the Smart Work Cell Controller and finding a way that it can help make more efficient lines for them and how we can get through the finishing efficiently.
I think we are using the technology just the right way today.
Yeah.
We do create data, and we are using that data just further downstream in all the attached equipment. And that makes it just so user-friendly.
A much smarter workflow when you can actually use the data to help you build efficiency.
Absolutely.
Barbara, is that only available on the Advantage 2200?
No, parts of our Plus package are available for across our fleet for existing and for new customers. Available for use on the T400s as well as the T200 series and the Advantage 2200 series.
So people can, if they're a current customer, they can reach out and get all the information.
Absolutely.
That's fabulous.
Well, I had another question
Yeah.
for Daniel as well, because touching a little bit on that easy going, let's say, workflow and the connection. So we see a lot of the vendors, now coming up with those connected APIs and other stuff to connect different technologies. But basically, at Hunkeler, for example, like the Starbook that you brought, I mean, for what kind of PSP are you aiming at? Because it's quite a long machine, it's quite a big investment, I would guess. What are you targeting with these type of installations, and who are you targeting as well with, let's say, the printer or the producing element in front of it?
I mean, there is two different aims specifically with the Starbook folder. First of them, as I already said, industrial usage. I mean, the high volume usage, it's definitely perfectly suited for that unit. I mean, you can easily do 17,000 books a day. We even know that some of the customers are running way up to 20,000 books a day, which is just a phenomenal number. And then the second aim is definitely also printing on demand. I mean, we all want to reduce stocks. We don't want to keep books anymore somewhere on the shelf. We want to produce them on demand. And I mean, that line, it's perfectly suited to print one book after the other in a different format, in a different size, in a different thickness. And having attached the RX8 media changer, you could even change the media itself. So you could potentially run a certain number of books on a medium A and then switch over to medium B for a next set of production. So again, it's an industrial usage for high volume, and the second often print on demand.
And that ties to the smart work cell controller. So the smart work cell controller can decide to batch your jobs together on your white paper and then save the jobs and move them to your cream paper. So ease of use for that and uptime for our customers.
So I think that ideology of sustainability as well, print what you use or what you have to use is in the DNA now as well of HP as well as Hunkeler and Müller-Marty as well as ours.
With less waste.
Bart, the last thing I wanted to ask you about was about the performance economy mode, because that intrigued me. It sounds as though it's a way to make printers more efficient in the use of the consumables.
Yes, it is. So we've just announced the economy performance color mode, and we are now printing color pages at 800 feet per minute or 244 meters per minute. It is using the full black ink available, but less color ink available. And it's perfect for jobs that you need quick turnover time, and so you need that higher productivity for. Mailers, some amount of publishing, and so we're sending out to our customer fleet. Again, it's also available across Advantage 2200s and the T200 presses, the T250 presses. And we're just seeing more and more creativity of how people can actually use that speed. It's fantastic.
I've just one more question, because I know your time is limited, especially for you, Daniel. So you touched upon it in the beginning. So Müller-Marty came along. So my question is, does the Hunkeler strategy has altered, or do you see basically further developments from that you already had in-house that are now being further developed with Müller-Marty on board?
Yes, you definitely will see a dramatic change in further developments. With Müller-Marty together, we have a total new resource of engineering power, and specifically on the software side, on the automation side, I think we are going to see over the next half a year a dramatic step forward.
Okay, don't forget to tell us about it, huh?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's exactly the reason why I have mentioned a half year. I mean, in February 2025, we are going to have the next Innovation Days, which is obviously one of the big shows in the inkjet industry, and we are already looking pretty much forward to it.
Perfect. Looking forward to that. Yeah. For HP, any last thoughts about the Drupa that you envisioned?
Oh, we're just so glad to be back. It's been 8 years. We were so sad to miss 2020, and the energy in Hall 17 is amazing. I think the flow through this has been amazing. It's been great to see so many customers come by yesterday, and we just can't wait for day number 2. It's going to be a fantastic day.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us and for this little bonjour. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you later, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.